I'm talking about my biggest challenges that I've had to overcome in naturopathic medical school. So I guess the first challenge that I had to overcome was during my first year when I took cadaver lab. And this is not something that I was even thinking about when I applied to medical school. I was just like, all right, I'm gonna go to medical school, I'm gonna become a doctor. I didn't even think about the process. When I got to medical school, I saw my schedule. Okay, gross lab, I can do this. It's just another thing that I have to do to become a doctor. But here's the thing, I've never seen a dead body in my life before medical school. So it was my first time kind of coming face to face with death. Let me tell you that it was a shock for me. How can we cut into this dead human body? Like, it was so weird. So I ended up failing my first quarter of gross anatomy lab. And that was really tough, especially when I saw all my classmates around me passing. And they seemed to be like getting a hang of it, but I struggled so much with gross anatomy and even with clinical anatomy. Clinical anatomy is something that I also had to remediate a few times in first year as well. It was really hard for me to grasp, but luckily I was able to continue on my first year, so I ended up taking gross anatomy in the winter and spring as well, and I passed those. Thank goodness. But I did have to retake gross anatomy in the fall during my second year, and I passed that. But I would never want to be in that situation again. I never want to see another cadaver in my life. Another obstacle that I had to overcome in naturopathic medical school, I guess it's more of a significant event because it's challenging, but it's not anything that was too hard or difficult to accomplish. These were during my second year, so they included the male exam, the female exam, and the clinic entry exam. I was so scared. The first exam that I had to do was the male exam. And what you have to do is an inspection of the genitals, and then you have to do a digital rectal exam to check the prostate and make sure there's no blood or you feel any nodules or anything. I remember you have to, so always wash your hands before you're gonna touch a patient. After I washed my hands, I was drying them, and then I started sweating immediately. And then I tried to put my gloves on, so it was so awkward because I introduced myself. I'm like, hi, my name's Marilyn. I'm gonna be your student clinician today, and today I'm gonna be doing a genital and digital rectal exam. So putting on my gloves, it was really awkward because I couldn't get them on because my hands were so sweaty, and we were just sitting there for a good 30 seconds or so. But you know what? After I was over and done with it, I was like, okay, this wasn't so bad. And then I had to do the female exam, and the female exam I was way more nervous about because if you've ever had a pap smear done, ladies, you know what I'm talking about. It's not the best feeling at all, and it's really uncomfortable. So for the female exam, you have to do a clinical breast exam, a pelvic exam with a speculum, and a bimanual exam. And that is just feeling for the cervix, the ovaries, and the uterus. Make sure everything is normal and healthy. Throughout the exam, you are checking to make sure everything overall is normal and healthy. In spring quarter, towards the end, you also have to do the clinic entry exam. Now, the clinic entry exam is what you have to do before you're able to become a student clinician in the summer of your third year. It can be really stressful and cause a lot of anxiety just thinking about, because if you don't pass that, you can't start seeing patients. That's what you want to do in the third year, you know? That's where the fun begins. You actually are interacting with patients. You're no longer observing like you would in first and second year. So for the clinic exam, you only have to see one person, and you get 25 minutes with them to do a full patient intake. After you're finished with your patient intake, then you're taken to another room to chart, and you have 25 minutes to chart. And then lastly, this by far has been the biggest challenge in naturopathic medical school for me to overcome. It is the NPLEX 1 board exam. Now, in order to become a licensed naturopathic doctor, you have to pass 2 board exams, the NPLEX 1 and the NPLEX 2. The NPLEX 1 board exam includes all the biomedical sciences: anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, pathology, immunomicrobiology, and there are 2 sections of the NPLEX board exam that you need to pass. If you don't pass one of them, you have to retake the whole board exam again. And that's what happened to me. People are posting their NPLEX board results on Facebook and Instagram and saying that they passed, and then I'm over here like, oh my god, I didn't pass my first time. Like, I feel like such a failure. It's one of the worst feelings in the world. So I applied to take it in February, and I was really nervous, but I was really determined to pass. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna fail this time. I took a different approach to studying the second time around, and I also got acupuncture because I get a lot of test anxiety. It is the most challenging exam you will ever take in your entire life, but it is possible to pass. Don't even listen to the horror stories. You have to put that out of your head. Otherwise, you're just gonna become doubtful, and what you put into the universe is what you get. And this is with a lot of things, but think positive thoughts. Alright guys, that is all I have for you today, but I have a question for you all. What are your biggest challenges that you've had to overcome in life so far? Leave a comment below letting me know, and of course if you have any questions, feel free to ask those as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the little thumbs up below, and if you're liking my channel and want to stay up to date, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well. Bye guys!